What's up, everybody? It's your boy Blue here. HRX is over. We have your Console Wars champion. It is the PS4 North American Team Elevate. And Hi-Rez and Skillshot have announced the new format for both the PPL and the PCL. But we're going to be going over the PCL. But first, I just want to talk about the free agent list that I'm creating. So I put a tweet up earlier today that says, if you are a free agent, please DM me on either Twitter or Discord your gamer tag /role/console. For example, BlueBall1993, Frontline, and both consoles. If you're just PS4, just put PS4. If you're just Xbox, just put Xbox. I did forget to include what region you're in, either EU or NA, so please include that as well. Once you give me that information, I will put it in the free agent list pool here. As you can see, this is the 2019 or 2019 PCL free agent pool. All the people in here will have their gamer tag, their role, what console they're on, what former team they were on if they were in the PCL, or not available if they were not on a PCL team, and then their Twitter. I will be making some videos over the next couple weeks about which players I think are top priority and which ones are the best. But let's talk about the Paladins Console League 2019 format. You can find this on their esports website or the link in the description here. Now don't forget, heading into 2019, console teams will still be required to pass through league qualifiers to earn a spot in the PCL. So just like the very first PCL, you will still have to play in the open bracket format for 2 weeks. And if you qualify as one of the top 8 teams in your console's region, you will be placed in the group stages where you will fight for a spot to be in the league. Now, the PCL will feature a mid-season relegations. A lot of people don't know what this is, especially those who have not watched Smite console esports before. Now, I cannot tell you exactly how relegations will work because they haven't answered any of my questions about them, and they haven't done any of the Paladins or Console League AMAs on Reddit yet, and I will be a large part of those. But if we look at an example like soccer or football in Europe, the top 3 teams from the championship gets promoted and play in the English Premier League the next season in place of the relegated clubs. Now, the relegated clubs are teams that do the worst and they get kicked out of the league. Now, there's another way that this could work as well. The other way is they take the bottom tier teams and they put them in a playoff or a qualifying rounds against the teams that are not in the league but should be in the league maybe. And the winners are put back into the league with those empty spots. Okay, so if you do not perform well in the league, you could be fighting for your spot back in the league, or you could be taken out of the league as a whole. Now, Xbox and PlayStation will be supported the entire year, which means Paladins on Switch will not be a competitive, Switch will not have a competitive scene. This is something I've gotten asked a lot about lately, as well as other people, especially at HRX, and I will give them the same answer that I have given them before this news, and that is that Paladins competitively on Switch just does not make sense right now. 2 consoles make an even amount of teams at a LAN. Switch would disrupt that. Also, Switch has no in-game chat, and with a casual player base, you cannot expect them all to have Discord or Skype or any other way to communicate. Also, Switch is a younger player base, predominantly, so it's more casual. In 2019, we'll be continuing the split-based format for the PCL, but we're trimming down the number of phases to just a spring split and a fall split. Now, this is a look at the timeline. Now, usually there's a spring split and then a spring championship, summer split and then a summer championship, and then the fall split, which leads to HRX now. Now the league qualifiers to get into the PCL will begin on February 2nd. They'll be releasing more information about this in the next year. The spring split is 13 weeks of play and the fall split is 13 weeks of play, which means that there will be a 26-week season. Now, relegations are mid-season which means that if you aren't performing well after 13 weeks, you could be kicked out. Or you could have to play to regain your spot back into the league. And then the final LAN is the Paladins Console Wars, which will be HRX next year. I think this is really good. A couple things I want to talk about real quick is it's 13 weeks of play for one split, 26 weeks of play for the entire season. I like it being one long season when then we have the off season. It seems more professional, seems like an actual sport now, and I like it, especially with the big improvements we've had in broadcasting, streams, and all of that. And this will also mean that less roster changes will be happening, less people switching teams often, and less people wanting to quit or come back every other week, which means a lot of teams are going to have to buckle down and really grind. Players are going to have to do the same. More teams are going to have to learn how to prepare to play in the league, which means VOD reviews, scrims, talking with your teammates every day or periodically, not just scrimming and expecting to get better. That is not the only way to practice, and that is a terrible way to only do scrims. That is a terrible way of practicing. So, I think this is good for us. Now remember, every time PC gets a change in their format, we get the change that they had previously gotten. This is similar to the one they're getting now, but it's also a little different as well. So I like it. I think it's better. I think it makes us a better esport, and I think it'll improve our community both competitively and casually. One last thing I want to say is that if you need help learning how to practice, how to VOD review, or how to play different roles, or you just want to get better overall, if you play on PS4, whether you're NA or EU, hit up Garcia, and I'll put his Twitter in the description below as well. He's the PS4 guy that kind of helps people. He found me in the Looking for Team Discord over a year and a half ago. So I would not be here without him. He had 10 people on his roster in the first PCL season, and he played for warm-up. And that was to teach people, to get them used to the competitive scene, help them to increase themselves as a player, improve as a player and someone who knows how to practice and knows what to do, knows all the tools given to them. And the equivalent to him is Incision on the Xbox. Now he's also a PC player, but on Xbox he started Bushwacon Esports, and it's basically like a boot camp for players. And it does everything that Garcia does as well. So I'll put both of their Twitters in the description below if you want to improve as a player. Don't forget, there's free agents all over the place. There's people looking to coach, people looking to do all sorts of things to help teams gain more improvements and recognition. So my name is Blue. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at realBluTV. No E in blue. I love you all, and this community is the best community.